Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. I'm CJ Baumgartner. That's Corey Tackman. Corey, I'm still drying off from my games yesterday. I got soaked.
One of the funnier text messages you've ever sent yesterday, I'm paraphrasing, but it was, "This is miserable," something along those lines.
Yeah, more just me getting soaked in the rain. So I put out on Twitter before the game, I was all ready to go. There's a little picture of my broadcast station, and I said, "I'm cold. Will I also get wet? Tune in to find out."
Yeah.
And then if you look like a couple hours later, there was a quote tweet that said, "Update. Both."
Yes, that's exactly right.
So yeah, no, it was a tough one. And look, it's scheduling, and in terms of ADs and scheduling and teams trying to figure out what to do, I do not envy that position. It is a nightmare to try and figure things out, in which case we do have an update for those playoffs we're going to tell you about in a second here. But I had Wadena, Deer Creek, and Crookston. Wolverines were the 4 seed. Crookston was the 13 in Section 8AA for the opening round of the playoffs in the single elimination opening round. Wadena, Deer Creek, they got out to an early lead, 14-0 after 2 innings, and they ended up winning 15-2 in 5. Everybody got wet. For Crookston, they had to stand out on the field for a very long time, and strike throwing was not on the menu today. Not out of any fault of their own, I think. Just it's hard to grip that softball in the wet conditions, and the Wolverines stayed disciplined, took a lot of walks, and kind of snowballed from there. So the Wolverines will go on and play Roseau in their next game. We're going to tell you a little bit about the scheduling changes here right now. I just got an update from Wadena Deer Creek Activities Director Norm Gallant, and he said Wadena Deer Creek will play in the Section 8AA softball tournament on Thursday, May 22nd at 2 p.m. in Hawley. So no game this afternoon in Wadena. Obviously, that got rained out a couple hours ago officially. And there will not be a game Wednesday because it's going to rain again as well. So Thursday, 2 p.m. in Hawley, they're going to play Roseau. Win or lose, Wadena Deer Creek will play at 4 p.m. against either Hawley or Thief River Falls, again in Hawley. So that is kind of the stage set there. The neutral site games, Wadena Deer Creek does lose a home game, but it's kind of the breaks. It's spring sports. You kind of have to do your best there. So, Corey, that's pretty much it for my stuff. What happened in your game over in Pequot?
Well, it was a 6-11 matchup between Pequot Lakes and Staples-Motley in the 6AA softball tournament, and Pequot Lakes came away with a 7-0 victory. And this was, honest to goodness, a matter of aggressiveness at the plate and a few sort of like costly mistakes on the sake of the Cardinals defense. Both teams' approach was the same. Both teams were super aggressive at the plate. Both teams, this is especially true in the first inning, didn't do anything until there were 2 outs. At one point, Pequot Lakes was up 4-0, and all of that damage was done with 2 outs. All 4 runs were scored with 2 outs in the first and second inning. There were a few errors, 4 errors on the side of Staples-Motley that helped kind of, as the word you used was snowball some of those problems. And then, offensively, goodness gracious, both teams just like jumped on pitches early all game long. Both teams, and Staples-Motley hit atom balls all game long, and Pequot Lakes hit not atom balls pretty much all game long. Again, there were a few errors, of course, that didn't help the cause. Kind of the highlight was Georgia James, the pitcher for Pequot Lakes. She went the complete game. I think she had 4 strikeouts, but then also as the 3 hitter, she was 3 for 4 with 2 RBI, 2 singles, and a double. She had herself a wonderful game. Livy Lorber in her final high school game for Staples-Motley went 2 for 3, and she just roped the ball all over the field. Even her first hit was technically a fly out to center field. It was a rope line drive that the center fielder didn't even have to move for. It was one of those. So with the victory, then Pequot Lakes moves on They'll take on the 3 seed Melrose area and the Dutchman. Again, that game is scheduled for today, a 5:00 start in St. Cloud. But at this rate, I don't know the exact. I don't know what they're doing in 6AA and what that reschedule is going to look like. But there's definitely going to be rescheduled. The whole Midwest, I think, is raining right now. So I just want to just say congratulations to the Cardinals on their season and being able to cover them all year long. Those girls from volleyball to I got a football game even in as Tyler went to go off and accept his Hall of Fame plaque, and then obviously basketball during the winter, and now this softball season. A lot of seniors end pretty stellar careers in 3 sports for those Staples-Motley Cardinals. So just want to congratulate them on their high school careers and how much fun it was to kind of be along for the ride for those.
Yeah, exactly. So that covers it up there on our high school sports angle. Corey, let's talk now about the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. It's a pretty easy thing to do.
Yeah, and especially this time of year, we get into grad season, obviously, even wedding season. I know this is going to sound silly, but honestly, like, didn't you love when you got married? Didn't you love gift cards to places? Good, we don't have to think about anything
all the time.
Just get me a gift card. You know, you could get a gift card for someone for the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. It's maybe, you know, you got Father's Day around the corner. You can hook up dad. You can hook up somebody for their birthday. You can hook up a grad. You can hook up a wedding party. Pizza Ranch gift cards, an unbelievable way to show your appreciation and love for whoever you're getting them for. So stop by Pizza Ranch today. Grab the gift that guarantees smiles. It is the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in beautiful downtown Wadena.
All right, Corey, Minnesota Twins news. They got up 2-1 over the Cleveland Guardians in a big 3-game series, and then it came the bottom of the second inning, and then there was a rain out. And then after that hour plus rain out, they played about 15 minutes, and then they rolled the tarp back out, and, the game is suspended. That is going to be made up today. But as you can see, it's even colder than yesterday, and the rain has been coming down now for like 12 straight hours plus. So highly unlikely that game gets made up, and we'll kind of see what happens. There most definitely will be a doubleheader on Wednesday, it feels like, for the Twins and the Guardians, and then they're going to have to figure out what to do with the other one. Do you think they would play a doubleheader plus a reset plus a suspension game? So like you pick it up in the third, so you end up playing, what would that be, like 20 plus innings of baseball in one day?
They will absolutely not do that. And as a matter of fact, it's semantics. They won't even play a doubleheader tomorrow. They will resume yesterday's game that they're supposed to resume tomorrow, and play. You know, they always word it weirdly too, right? Like what they'll do is they'll suspend officially game 2. They'll make up game 2 later in the season. So they'll resume game 1 and then play game 3 on Wednesday.
Even though it technically is game 2 because it's the second game you've played. Yeah.
So in case you're wondering, for Minneapolis, it's absolutely raining right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely going to rain at noon. 70% chance at 1, 2, and 3, 65% chance at 4 and 5, which is when the game resumption is supposed to be. It ain't happening. The Twins are it's not happening. The Twins are not happening today. There's just no other way to put it.
There is no way that can happen. So there's your Twins news for the day. All right. Let's move on to the real matter that we need to talk about today. Today is the day of the Western Conference Finals, Game 1. Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, down under in Oklahoma City. This is the first Western Conference Final since 1996 where a team has not been from Texas or California.
Yeah, suck on that. Those two very annoying states.
Uh-huh. I mean, it also makes sense considering that Texas has 3 teams and California is like 4, 5.
1996, there in Texas, there's Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1996, all of them have made at least one Western Conference final.
Right.
I don't know. Did Houston make more than one?
They made the one for sure in 2018, but I think that's it. Because that was the one where they were up in game 7 and didn't make a 3 for the final 15 minutes of game time.
Right. And then the Timberwolves broke that record. And then in California, we're talking the Lakers.
Yep.
Lob City made it.
Yep.
The Clippers.
Well, in 2021. So I don't know if Lob City was broken up by that point, but
okay. And then Golden State, obviously. The only one out of all those teams is Sacramento. I'm pretty sure Sacramento hasn't made it.
No, because they got close, and then Kevin Garnett knocked them out because that was the ready for war.
KG or the Lakers in all of those years. So anyway, suck on that, Sacramento. And it's the second year in a row that the conference finals, East or West, has featured a team from Minnesota or Indiana, which is pretty cool. 3 of the 4 teams in the conference finals are, I guess, technically Midwestern teams.
Uh-huh.
OKC and Indiana. OKC's, I guess, it depends on your perspective. It's middle of America. Screw you, everyone outside the mountains.
And then we got New York in there just to remind everybody.
Well, New York, you know what? You're allowed to have your one elitist program, I guess. That's fine.
You got to always have a Duke or a North Carolina or something like that in the Final Four. But then you get your sweetheart stories.
I'm so annoyed right now that everybody's like, LA celebrity fans are just there to be seen. But these New York celebrity fans, they're blue collar.
We're interviewing Ben Stiller before game 6.
Up. Who cares? If that's what you have to talk about, if that's your storyline, I hate to break it to you, you're going to get beaten.
It's Spike Lee and Ben Stiller high-fiving courtside.
I want good things to happen for Kat. I like Jalen. I like Hart. Name their guys. Name all their guys.
Yeah.
I like them. I hope
Vandy boys.
Them. I need Tibbs to stub his toe every day for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. Talk about celebrity fans. At least the Wolves, they got Josh Duhamel. That's about it.
I guess.
He was seen at some of the games.
Since Prince died, I guess we're on to Josh Duhamel.
Yeah, that's a thing. There's not really any other Minnesota-born actors that are really shown up. Nick Swardson, is there, but he's not necessarily like the.
Can we say this about Josh Duhamel? He allegedly lives in the listening area. So, Josh Duhamel, if you are, I don't know that for sure. No one's I've just heard that rumor.
Yes.
The rumor is he lives in the listening area. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just the rumor.
We have a pretty big listening area. Yeah.
Josh Duhamel, if you take in the morning sports desk, and boy, oh boy, we would love to have you on.
I would love you, man.
I would like to make fun of you. Did you know you played quarterback at Minot State?
I could believe it.
I want to make fun of Minot State. Josh Duhamel, let me make fun of your school. You're talking to other NSIC schools here. They weren't NSIC at the time, but I just heard a story about him getting beat by Southwest Minnesota State. First of all, haha. Secondly, come defend your Beavs so that way CJ can defend his Beavs, and then I can talk about Winona State basketball.
Yeah, that's about it. Take good care of my Beavs. You gotta be on the right track.
Yeah,
you gotta keep track of the Beaver battle.
The invite has officially been extended. If you know Josh Duhamel or know how to get this to him, please do.
Please, somebody get it out there.
What do you got? Wolves in what?
Wolves in. I saw Sam Mitchell was being interviewed, and he had a take where he's like, the Wolves need to win in 6 because he's like, if you have to go to a game 7 in OKC, that's just going to be a tough place to win.
Yeah.
So he said, like, if the Wolves win, it's going to be in 6. He says if the Thunder win, it's going to be in 7. But I think this is going to go 6 or 7 games, and I kind of have thought that idea too. The Wolves are a little bit more road warriors, so I'm still leaning on Wolves in 7. Wolves in 7 is like my level-headed, somewhat biased guess, because obviously I'm not going to pick the Thunder to win. But also just as my pure letting my fan instinct kick in, Wolves in 4 till it ain't.
I felt very strongly that the Timberwolves were much better than the Lakers and Golden State. I felt that very, very strongly. The Timberwolves are not better than Oklahoma City. Now, they might be as good, and I'm willing to make that and accept that argument that the Timberwolves are as good as OKC. They're not better than OKC. OKC is the best team in basketball all season long, and they just got through a knockdown drag out with Denver and survived it and played really, really well in that game 7. I said yesterday that these are the options for how this series could go. It's OKC in 4, 5, 6, or 7, or Timberwolves in 6 or 7. Right? Timberwolves getting a sweep, not going to happen. Timberwolves in 5, not going to happen. I think if you want what I think realistically is going to happen, it's probably OKC in 6. There's just too many others. There's like too many what ifs.
Anthony Edwards, are you listening? Corey Tackman is your biggest doubter. Use it as fuel.
If you want what I hope for and what I think is an option, I definitely think the Wolves can win this in 6. Without a doubt, the most interesting matchup in this series is whoever is guarding Julius Randle.
He's the key in this series.
Well, it's not that he's the key. It's whoever is guarding him is the key. Like, is it going to be Hardenstein? Because Julius is going to be quicker, but he's going to be the first guy that he's not going to be able to outmuscle.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be Chet? Well, Chet, Julius is going to be able to outmuscle Chet, but Chet is 7'8" with a wingspan and blocks every shot under the sun. I know Jokic went right at Chet every single time, but Jokic is also a 7-footer. So there's that sort of discrepancy. Julius bigger, though, than I'm giving him credit. Isn't Julius like 6'10"? He's an enormous.
He's a big individual.
Could they go with somebody smaller? I don't know, just pick a guy to guard Julius. Like, that is going to be, Julius is going to have the size advantage, but he's not going to be able to just out-quick somebody. That is just a really important how they guard Julius. We know that they're going to throw the kitchen sink at Ant. You just have to do it.
You have to learn how to handle doubles. The Thunder is a defense that just gets after you. You could make the case, they foul a ton and get away with it. That's not what we're talking about here. They just get after it on defense, and like it or not, you're going to have to learn how to deal with it. And the Wolves are a team that can turn the ball over a lot. So how Ant handles that pressure is going to be important. And to the other Wolves as well, because they can also get turnover happy. But Ant is the centerpiece of all this. So that is also, going to be a huge part of this.
And I don't want to sound, this isn't a bold take, but like DDV and Nas and Naw have to find a way to make buckets in this series.
I was going to say, here's your optimism for that, because I was also going to bring up the bench is going to be important, because both teams have the star power. Both teams have deep benches. So the Wolves bench is going to have to show out. Naz Reid, in his games against the Thunder, has cooked them. He has been the Thunder killer this season. So that's been a positive sign. He's just matched up really well. He's played really well against Oklahoma City. Dante DiVincenzo's the worst three-point shooter in this playoffs. So and he's not that bad of a shooter. It's the Cade Cunningham, we're bad, but we're not this bad kind of thing. I'm not trying to say Dante DiVincenzo's like Steph Curry. What I'm trying to say is that he's shooting well below his career average. And so at some point we're going to get a 40% Dante game at some point. And if this series he wants to do that, that's huge. And then obviously you got Nickeil Alexander-Walker going against his cousin and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So you got to win the cousin battle, my guy. You got to win the Canadian cousin battle.
You don't have listen. I understand what you're saying. He is not going to win that battle.
No. I'm just mean you have to help your team win.
Oh, I see. No, yeah, that's
no. He is not going to go bar for bar with SGA.
He is not. You know what? I think OKC would be happy to let him go point for point back and forth, because that would be bad news probably for the Timberwolves.
This is going to be interesting. Oklahoma City, first of all, their coach at the media was passive aggressively quote tweeting Chris Finch, talking about, coaches like to try and complain through the media to try and advocate for fouls and this and that and whatever. Which, okay, man, cool. Second of all, the Oklahoma City Twitter community has been complaining that they have such a quick turnaround to play the Western Conference Finals, and poor them and poor whatever, win in less than 7. Surely the best team ever shouldn't need to go to 7 games against the banged up Nuggets team, but yet you did. And the Wolves did last year, and they had to play it. And by the way, they swept Memphis in like the fastest time I've ever seen a sweep happen. What are you talking about? Oh, we don't have enough time to rest. Even if you would have gotten the extra day of rest that the Eastern Conference had, you still would have complained. So, whatever. The Wolves need to take advantage early in this series, and they do need to. You can't get down 2-0 against this Oklahoma City team. You need to steal one of them in Oklahoma City. Obviously, you have to anyways because you don't have home court advantage. But for you can get down 2-0 and expect to come back in this series. You need to. Winning game 1, obviously, is the step to winning 4 of them. But let me phrase it this way, Corey. 8 more wins and the Minnesota Timberwolves are NBA champions.
Yep, and the next 4 are arguably going to be the toughest of those 8.
Would you consider today a must-win game, Corey?
I would not. And if they lose, ask me if I think game 2. You just, in spite of everything you just said, ask me if I think game 2 is a must-win.
If they lose game 1, is game 2 a must-win game?
It is not.
What if they lose game 2? Is game 3 a must-win game?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There we go. What if they lose game 3? Do you think game 4 would be a must-win game?
I think statistically that sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, good. We're answering the real questions here on the morning.
I'm excited for this series because
this is going to be fun.
As much as I down, and boy, oh boy, can they play down, they can play up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to see how they play up with Oklahoma City to a team that should beat them.
Yeah.
When this series is over and we find out in 7 games or 9 games or 11 games or however long this series takes that Oklahoma City is going on to the finals, it should not be a surprise. We could be sad about it. It should not be a surprise. But I think the Timberwolves are going to give Oklahoma City a complete run for their money. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Oklahoma City is minus 309 in this series. Minnesota is plus 249 in the betting odds.
It's crazy. I can't believe it's that far.
Uh-huh. So if you want to make some money, put $100 down on the Wolves.
You got Jaden fouling out tonight or in game 2?
Jaden already has 3 fouls and is heading to the bench as we speak. So Jaden McDaniels over under on games he fouls out. I'm going, the money line is at 1.5. So he has
1.5. So what are you taking?
Oh, I'm going to take the over.
I'll take the under, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be in foul trouble.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, we'll get you a recap of game 1 tomorrow. This is the Morning Sports Desk powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Wolves in 4 till it ends.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.